Years after the fated wrestling match, the mystery of Nma Ma still plagued Umu Obi. People still wondered and occasionally whispered about what could have happened to her. Adaora was a little girl that admired Nma Ma and was also intrigued by her story. She had grown up to be a beautiful woman, formidable in her own right, with curves in the right places that made the young men in the village linger a little longer in her presence, looking for reasons to carry on unnecessary conversations with her. She was aware of her charm and knew how to wield it. Although respectful, she couldn't stand people who were arrogant and rude. If she witnessed someone being treated badly, she would go out of her way to defend the person and try to right the wrong. Most people in the village respected her, not only for her beauty, but also for her selflessness and sharp wit. But there were a few people who couldn't stand her, mostly bullies that she had scolded in the past. Adaora was in her early 20s and came from a close-knit family who thought that it was time for her to settle down. One night, after dinner, her father, Mazi Obina, summoned her. Adam, he said, pride of her father, beloved of her mother, the most beautiful maiden in all 7 villages, your mother and I, we are wondering what your plans are for the future. A few men had proposed to Ada, but she had pleaded with her father to give her some time. Nnam, Adaora said, there is something I must do before I make that final commitment. After all, it was common knowledge that Obiagu, the fiercest hunter and most skillful wrestler, had eyes for her. She also admired him, but at the moment had another passion that burned deeply. You see, the world was changing. While villages prospered from trade with the neighboring communities, Umu Obi remained relatively isolated. This meant that sometimes things like medicines that couldn't be found within their local communities were lacking. Now, the king's daughter Olanna was sick, and so Adaora saw her chance. She went to the king, bowed, saying, Igwe, may your days be long. She told the king about her plans to travel to Bodoma, a distant land that she had heard of, with a huge market that attracted people from near and far. She thought that it would be good for Umu Obi to reach out, find a Bodoma, and propose trade that could help their village. In the past, Igwe Arinze had opposed such interactions, afraid that the outside influence would pollute Umu Obi's secret traditions and cultures. But this time was different. Olanna, Igwe Arinze's only daughter, was sick, and despite his best tries, the Dibia, the local healer, couldn't find a solution. And so, after consulting his council of elders, Igwe Arinze had agreed, choosing important emissaries that would accompany Adaora. The journey was long and arduous, causing periods of discouragement, but true to her nature, Adaora persisted. She knew what was at stake, and she was determined to reach her goal. After several days of traveling, with very little rest, they arrived at Obodooma, a large town much bigger than Umu Obi, and with more people than Adaora had ever seen. Adaora had been instructed, along with the other emissaries, to take gifts to the ruler of Obodooma as peace offering. As she stepped into the palace, ready to offer the gifts, the most striking figure caught her eyes. A woman with uncharacteristic grace and beauty. You could see that she was in her 40s, but still beautiful and graceful. Forgetting that she was in front of the king, Adaora screamed, "Mama! Mama!" The beautiful maiden that had won everyone's heart in the small enclave of Umu Obi had now been found after disappearing for so many years in the sprawling, bustling town of Obodooma. We've come to the end of the second part of our story of Nma Ma, the beautiful maiden. Would love to hear from you. Please leave your comments down below. Kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel, and please ring the notification bell so that you'll be notified when the final episode of Nma Ma is released. Please share this video with your family and friends, and until next time, Kodi.